Hello, Wojciech Pietrzak here, and welcome to the third round of Twilight Struggle Online World Cup 2022. This time against Adrian Ziarko, a Polish guy, quite a decent opponent, and a very nice guy, by the way. Plus, if you never saw Adrian's face when you tell him a daddy joke, you don't know what life is. So, what do we have here? 21 points. That's not the worst that could happen, but if this hand gets purged, it's a little crippled. That's one thing. The other thing is I don't really have good candidate for the headline. Olympic Games gives downside risk, which I don't want to take right now. I think I'll dump the factors, just like this. And he had the middle list scoring, giving him 4 points. I'll give him the fifth one immediately. But I got a very good coup result, actually the best possible. So now that Asia and Europe are left, I think my next move should be breaking West Germany, as well as going to Pakistan. Or maybe to South Korea first, because I keep forgetting about it. With Indo-Paki in my hand, I can just crawl into Asia. I could coup Lebanon, hopefully gaining the source of ops in case of distal. One thing to be said about Adrian: he's certainly stronger than his rating suggests. Now I could coup Egypt, maybe he forgot about the DEFCON, but I don't think that's the best I could do with this hand. Actually, let's give some power to the goal and keep crawling into Asia. No 5-year plan, no CIA. I had duck and cover, but I don't want to play the China card if not necessary. I do, however, want to take France, or at least to threaten it to some point. 1 to France was nice, because it wasn't too vulnerable to the goal. At the same time, it was quite nice it was impossible for me to take it in a single move. Okay, now let's resolve this event first. I don't need to take France too soon. What I want to do is to grab Asian domination. 1, 2, and the third one Yeah, let it go here. I wonder if he remembers about DEFCON. And about cooing, of course. Nasser. Okay. He remembered, but why did he go to Egypt before? If he gave me it anyway. I mean, it was nice to go to Egypt if you either put 2 there or take Libya. Yes, I know. He may break France, threatening Truman. But I kept the goal in the deck. Suez is still there. And well, no. And I dominate Asia, the only non-scored region. Although he's leading by points. I guess it's gonna be 4 after Millops counting. He didn't decide to break France. Okay, socialist governments look nice. Red Scare Purge looks nice. Captured Nazi scientist looks nice. Actually, very many cards look nice here. CIA doesn't look nice. But I can and I have to live with this. Vietnam revolts don't give me Asian domination, so it's kinda sorta pointless to headline it now. So let's just purge him, because this is useful for all sorts of things. Marshall Plan, I like it, because he can't use it in France. He's gonna be purged anyway. He is now more vulnerable to blockade. If he has blockade and decal, for example. Well, of course, if he sees it, he isn't going to put influence in West Germany. So, I'm gonna get rid of CIA ASAP. I don't want to see Fidel. And I have Arab-Israeli war, so Millops are not a problem. He went to West Germany, actually, so either he doesn't have blockade, or he doesn't have decal, or he blundered. Now, if I were in his shoes, I wouldn't necessarily coup right now, because my coup targets aren't convincing as well. Well, okay, I have Lebanon. Could Egypt, with a success, of course, I have to admit it. So let's boost a battleground in a non-scored region. It's best to hold in the Pakistani war one more turn, and I think I am going to do it. Yeah, that was wise. Let's play this before he goes to this place. Actually, I'm thinking about playing Vietnam revolts and breaking Thailand with the China card. Okay, I got this. Failed, but now I know what to do there. Libya has priority over Egypt. because Nasser is gone and Sadat is not. This is not a good idea to activate NORAD for him. Yeah, I'm not really convinced about this move, but maybe this is really what decides that Europe is not going to be dominated by me. I don't think so. He has quite an easy country count after Marshall. But, okay, it's his decision, and I'm far from saying it was an ultimately bad one. Wait, this is event, this is space, so this is the remaining ops. So I believe I should play it like this. Oh, Arab-Israeli war doesn't have to be an event, because I already have mill-ups from Korean War. That changes things a little. He has some nasty cards indeed. So he doesn't even intervene anything. He wants to hold something. Yeah. Spaced serious crisis. Let's space NORAD successfully. Asia, the remaining scoring. And the score already looks okay. Truman with influence to Vietnam. Maybe it wasn't the worst. Okay, if he doesn't headline Asia scoring, this should be strong. If he does, but has anything else, this should be worth knowing. And I am quite lucky to have so many 4-ops cards, although of course activating NATO isn't very convenient. He has both D cards, I believe. In such a case, he should headline Asia scoring. But he decided to headline Purge instead. Okay, so I can no longer take Thailand. So it's quite pointless to fight for this particularly. What about fighting for Asia particularly? I have Indo-Pakistani war, so giving him coup doesn't allow much. It only allows him 2 points. And of course it allows him taking country like Libya. So I think it's more important to secure Asian domination. I don't want to play blockade, of course, just to see distal thrown. a go for a coup. Okay, now even NATO activated into France isn't as painful. Of course, it's always pain in the ass to lose 2 victory points for special relationship. But so far, let's just repair what he did. Asia is 5 versus 7, so even US-Japan isn't as painful, although of course I'd rather play it after he scores, at least for this 1 point. But some things to do are quite straightforward. Now even NATO is quite straightforward as the thing to be played. Hold card. US-Japan or Olympic Games. Or NATO. No blockade, no Indo-Pakistani war because I want to play it. Not worth. Blockade is not worth because it's not purged. Okay, let's play it because I want to play it anyway. Failed. So only 2 victory points saved. Why don't I just space US-Japan Mutual Defense Pact? I mean, if I draw Brush War, Italy isn't a target I'm really struggling for. He discarded special relationship, so NATO isn't particularly painful, really. US-Japan, on the other hand, could be much more painful. Okay, another good question is, where should I play? Iran, Saudi Arabia. These are quite obvious targets now. Okay. I think I will space US-Japan just because there are not very many options of placing ops which really make sense. Of course I could dominate Europe for a while. Of course I could risk things like realigning Algeria or realigning Panama, but these are not particularly worth. So let's just let it go, earn 2 more victory points. And for the final play, let's just boost OPEC, leaving him with a disto and with something else. It's quite nice to play containment like this and save it to be able to space long gunman later. I believe he has fiddle, yeah. And he tries to get rid of me in Cuba immediately, which he didn't. Okay. Africa scoring. Missile envy and brush war and flower power. Okay, is missile envy worth risking? That's the question. I don't think so, but if not missile envy, then what? Brush war? If this is defected, it hurts. Olympic Games is more risky than missile envy, actually. Arab Israel. I am leading now, but the situation doesn't look very good, so I think this sort of risk may be kinda sorta necessary. Let's take it. Oh! So? So if he has "we will bury you", he will bury me. He doesn't. He scored this Africa. Okay, then. And he doesn't have any 4. That's worth knowing. In this case, when Africa is scored, let's just get rid of this one for free. Okay, brush war. The best target seems to be Thailand. Puppet. The best target seems to be space. Not a problem with any other card. Mexico. Yep. I am not surprised with this one. Mexico or Thailand? Thailand is a 4 points flip in Southeast Asia. Mexico is an 8 points flip in Central America. Central America is returning. Southeast Asia is not. %50 each. I have no better targets with higher chance except Lebanon and Algeria, and maybe some unflippable. I mean, not controlled by him, but I believe I don't. Okay. Succeeded! Yay! I think he's gonna realign me from there. If he fails, I am going to I'm not sure about the tenses I used. He has junta, but he doesn't have too much luck. Hehehe. I believe this means he has this scoring, or he strongly believes I have it. Now, of course, he no longer believes I have it, because I would have scored it probably. On the other hand, I may be attempting to score one more. Of course, it's very volatile in this South America due to these adjacencies and possible realignment options. So, maybe not, or maybe so. I need to take my time spacing you, my friend. It would be too much giving him this. Now I'm gonna see his headline. It's quite obvious for me to hold Nixon, play Arab Israeli and play Flower Power. He is spacing distal. Now, this is a move which may turn out to be a genius one or a blunder. The time will tell, you will decide. I am going to defend against realignments here, defend here, and attack here as aggressively as I can, basing on the fact that he can coup it with a 3 at most, because he doesn't have a 4. And he is determined enough to use a 3 as good as Kennedy. Of course, I am counter-coupping and succeeding. It was a gamble, yes, I realize it. On the other hand, I couldn't boost my position elsewhere when things were not scored. Oh, I'm playing the entire hand. In this case, let's use the China card for this coup instead of Nixon plays the China card, because I have to give the card to him anyway. And the whole maneuver backfired on me so far. And he already had Junta. I had Brush War. Who's gonna have ABM? Other than ABM, my best bet is not Salt and not Distal, because they are still here, so in South America I can only count on Allende. I forgot about grain sales, meaning playing the entire hand. I think Venezuela would be a better choice. Missile Envy gone. Okay. Oh, I can see his headline, yeah. I'm not really a big fan of this particular hand. Five-year plan? Oh. Okay, ABM Treaty is certainly the card I don't want you to grab from my hand. And now the tricky part. I think I can just take Mexico and then use duck and cover for a coup, degrading DEFCON twice but giving him 2 points instead of 3. Nuclear subs. This changes things a little compared to what I intended. Not too much, however. Duck and cover is still worth. Getting rid of just this way. I am gonna have a response to at least one of his coups. Yeah, Allende says that this might have been unnecessary, but it's not particularly harmful. I don't think I can make use of arms race this turn. I'd like to play empty our men in Tehran. And I'm playing the entire hand, so better play it now than give him the unnecessary... let's play it this way and use Nixon for a coup. Actually, maybe our men in Tehran should go for a coup in Lebanon. That sounds much more effective than... Bleh. Okay, let's... give it back to him. And my coup failed. But if he has cultural revolution, it's not too convenient for him to play it now. This one in Ecuador can be helpful if I wanted to just use point from summit to establish presence in South America. The 5-year plan move was quite annoying. Kitchen debates in Colombia, yeah, of course. Establishing what was said. Yep, he had the scoring. No activating this event. I'm now thinking about Allende, but this one point doesn't really have much better places to go than just as this event. Okay, Middle East, Southeast Asia, Central America, Europe. These are the scorings left. Each of them looks favorable for me. But what are they going to look like when they are scored is another story. And maybe, yeah, I should have gone to Lebanon. Okay. I got Europe and Middle East. Hopefully Middle East is good as a headline after I see his headline. because this hand is more than unconvincing, mostly due to ops value. Portuguese Empire is of course a nice event, flipping Angola, but I don't feel I have time for this. Cuban Missile Crisis, it's actually very helpful because I don't have to worry about DEFCON at first place. I can just take Mexico. And do it with Sadat, since it's gonna be played anyway, and Muslim Revolution is not gone. If I want to coup, I can just take 2 from Cuba about any time. So I should dump Europe soon, because it can't be better. Of course, taking into account that I have to react to what he does, but also taking into account let's play Formosan first, because he has the China card, but also taking into account that I have John Paul, which needs to be triggered sooner or later. Plus, I'd really like to not lose Milovs, and this costs 2 in Cuba and 2 more to get rid, 2 more for a coup, So and that bear trap is not really a playable card. Maybe I can even sacrifice Portuguese Empire crumbles. I mean, ooh. Okay, then. Well, I'm not really going to discuss this one. Southeast Asia and Central America, not enough. If he has the scoring, this was justified, of course. Hold card. Should I hold bear trap or not? It's worth remembering that Truman is still somewhere around. Oh, it's not yet. Space time. Succeeded! Space race! Yay! These points are something I like. Me likes it. Central America plus OPEC. Uh-oh. 20. Of course, it requires two things. Central America and OPEC. I'm still worrying about him couing Haiti, for which I would have to respond by ending Cuban Missile Crisis and going back. With this card. And now I no longer dominate Central America, but I have my mill-ups. And I have Cuba protected. What the hell? Okay, Poland is not as important now. Sooner or later it's gonna be, because now Europe is very vulnerable to tear down this wall. But this is a sooner or later question. 15 cards to be drawn, so no card gets back, but we have a reshuffle. So this is important. But for example, he doesn't have... he had this. Extra scorings or Kennedy, etc. And he has long gunman. And I have Liberation Theology, which is close to the best card I could draw. I don't have any DEFCON degraders, and he should be able to identify this. He should be able to identify my entire hand. But if he gives me long gunman, well, he gives me the long gunman. Voice of America. Of course, he didn't give me the long gunman. Yeah. Do your job, my friend. And be the first one. He took 2 from Panama and 2 from Mexico. And it can honestly be called kinda sorta wasted. Voice of America. Of course, it was a good call from him to do it this way. Still. Let's first boost OPEC. Even by taking Panama, he cannot dominate Central America. I have Cultural Revolution. Colonial Rearguards is the most problematic card I have. NORAD influence, I guess it goes to Panama. So it did. Now let's think for a while. Okay, it's very tempting to have Che, but I think this is the card I can live without for the sake of threatening Central America now. I mean, with this plus OPEC, he's getting really close to what he doesn't want. Okay, gunman. UN intervened gunman. Yeah, not what I saw coming. So this may lose much more than OPEC. And OPEC can get close enough to the auto victory after I see Muslim Revolution played, for example. So I'd preferably hold defectors and oh! This is a victory point, but also the one I lost temporarily. Let's threaten something. I'm waiting for Muslim Revolution. Oh, but I forgot about Southeast Asia scoring. Okay, let's cash OPEC in this case. Yes, of course, he must have had this scoring. Suez crisis, not a big choice. So now, what comes next? South America doesn't look very promising for me. Especially that I will probably play Panama Canal returned. First of all, give me my China card back. And now, what does return here? Let's not give Africa this easily. But this is something I didn't understand. I mean, Middle East would lose him a game and is losing him a game anyway now. South America, on the other hand, or Africa, could be boosted to much higher extent. Commit your decision, but why do I have to commit my decision? It's his turn to play, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's a bug. Five-year plan. Okay, if I play Asia scoring, Ussuri, defectors or brush war? If I play brush war, Asia scoring, and nothing else stops me. I think brush war is the obvious choice. And yeah, and that's about it, I guess. Thank you for watching and see you next time.